Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guy, and this is episode number 4 of the first person platformer series. And in today's video we are going to get started with the actual implementation of the gun. So in the last video we had a perfectly working gravity and jumping system, and we have got our character controller and movement stuff pretty much done now. Our player can move around you would expect to move around in a first person game using either the arrow keys or the WASD keys, and you can also jump, and you can also jump twice, double jumping, and this is all really nice. So now with that done, what I actually would like to do is start implementing the gun, because of course it can't be a shooter without guns. So we need to add that. Now in the previous series that we did on a first person shooter, that was extremely basic, so we just had a single gun, but now we want to have multiple guns that we can pick up and throw down and switch between and a lot of other stuff. So how are we going to do that? So the thing that I will start with is first of all, let me just go under the select the player, and I'm going to just open up the player script. So we are going to start implementing the basic abstraction of our gun and weapon system in this video. Now the first thing that I would like to do here is, let me just scroll down and scroll up, and I will like to add a header here. Because we want to keep things organized. So in the inspector, because all of our code is going to be in the player class, if you are splitting up into multiple scripts, then it won't be that much of a problem. But if you've got a single script, you should definitely add headers to help in actually determining what to do. So with this header, I'm going to just say movement, and you might want to also add a space after the header, and I'm going to add yet another header here called weapons, I guess. All right. And now in here, the first thing, so I'm not going to add any fields here right now. We will do that as we go on along. So the first thing that we want is an actual weapon. Now if I were to go under my go under Unity and let's create a prefab for the weapon. For now, let's compile the script, by the way. The annoying thing about this is you can't use Unity while it's compiling the script. But anyways, once it has done that, just go under asset slash there is no folder here that we've got, so create just a prefab folder. And in here I will actually like to drag my player and create a prefab out of the player in here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to also create another folder here called weapons. We want to keep things organized, as I said. So I'm going to actually create this is a really detailed course, so it's important that we have got good organization. So I'm going to create a new prefab here, just an empty prefab here called test weapon. Let's just call it that, and let's just keep it at that. We can add stuff later. So for now, this is what it looks like. Now if I go under my script folder, and I am going to create another folder here in here as well called weapons. Now by the way, you can use a different mode of organization if you want. Instead of having like scripts and prefabs, you can put everything related to a particular weapon in a single folder if you like it that way. But we are going to use this organization, even though that might actually be better in some cases, but let's just keep it as that. Now let's create a new C# script here called weapon. This will just be an abstract script. I'm going to open it up in here, and I'm going to make sure that it is an abstract class, so that you can't just use this. And I'm going to remove the unnecessary using statements here because we don't need that, and we will add the start and update methods later. Now what we want in the abstract, so this is an abstract class called weapon, and what we want here is we want to essentially have a couple of methods that will be used for every weapon. The first one I'm going to add here is going to be a public static, of course, void called shoot, because of course that's the most basic thing, and public, not static, sorry, is going to be abstract. Alright, now what this method is going to do is essentially shoot the gun, and this will be overridden in the child classes, so that's the reason that we've got this an abstract class. So with this, what we might do is we might go under the player class and add in a single serialized field of weapon here. So let me just add that, and add in a weapon called weapon right now, just for testing, because we are going to of course add more weapons like a pistol and 2 heavy guns and 1 other thing, melee weapons, etc, etc, etc later. But for now I'm just adding a weapon called weapon, and you can see that in here in the scripts, I'm going to open up my weapons folder. I'm going to right click and a new C# class, and this class is going to be called by the way, this is using the C# extension. If you want to do that, you can just create an empty file. I'm going to call this one test weapon, and once I do that, it adds the class automatically. And I do not want this to actually have a namespace, which is actually in the namespace I've got spaces in it for some reason. Anyway, if I go ahead in here and I select this and I press shift tab, that's better. Now we have got this, and we want this to actually we don't want to be using all this. We want to be only using Unity engine, because we are of course going to be needing that. Well, we will see when we do. Actually, we don't really need it right now. Anyways, I'm going to add in a weapon. I'm going to not here, here I'm going to make sure that it is inheriting from weapon. Some reason this is not detecting the classes, even though it is like in the next class. Now the point is that well, it's not detecting it for some reason, it seems. Anyways, now we need to implement that abstract method, because if I were to go in here, it would give me an error, because we does not implement the shoot method. Because this class is not abstract, we must implement the abstract classes. So just go ahead and implement that by adding a public void called shoot. Not this way. All right, so now we have got this, and of course this needs to say override. uh, Override, and this should work. This should actually fix the error that we've got, and now it's detecting the weapon class now. All right, so now that we have got this, what we want to do in here is, let's just say that we do something like saying debug.log something like weapon, well, let's just say shooting test weapon, and let's do that. And once we have done that, I can actually open up Unity. And what's the problem? Okay, we are not actually using Unity engine, which is totally wrong. We need to go in here, and we need to be using Unity engine. All right, now with that done, okay, system.diagnostics. I'm not using any of that actually. Uh, Alright, that shouldn't cause any problem. Actually, just okay, it is actually causing a problem. That's surprising. System.diagnosis.debug. Okay, that actually exists here. I did not notice that. I suppose I just rolled up a line. All right. Now that we have got all of this implemented, it's our time to actually. Well, we need to actually add this script to our prefab for the test weapon that we created. And once we have done that, we need to basically add this to the weapon slot that we have got in the player. And we can, of course, just this way we can add multiple weapon slots as well by using an array or just different more variables. And so that's going to be really nice. First of all, I'm just going to select my weapon, and not in here in the prefab folder, and I'm going to just add the weapon component to its test weapon. Alright, by the way, notice that you cannot add the weapon component because that's an abstract class. Now once we have added that, I can actually select my player, and I can drag this weapon in here. Now once that we have got that, what we actually want to do is we need to make sure that now the weapon is actually spawned in the player, and then we can shoot it. But this video is getting long, so I'm going to end this here. We just implement the abstractions in this video, so I will see you in the next video, in which we will actually try to add a gun model as well, and then we will spawn the gun in front of the player and allow the player to shoot from it. So that's going to be a really interesting video, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.